Your vote, your voice. After months of campaigning, you now have your say about who will be in the White House, Congress, and the state's General Assembly.
Get out and vote.
We have live team coverage from across the state. What voters have to say.
It's nice to see people exercising their right to vote.
We're covering the big races that Pennsylvania and the nation are following. It's Commitment 2024 election coverage you can count on. Just about 2 hours left to vote in the Susquehanna Valley. It is your chance to make your voice heard, just like these voters in Hershey, Dauphin, and York.
The News 8 team is live across the state and the Susquehanna Valley. Our team of reporters is with the voters and the candidates at their election night events. Good evening. I'm Jerry Gish.
And I'm Lori Burkholder. Let's begin with voting in Pennsylvania, where there have been some issues. Thusby Mahfouz joins us live from the state capitol with more on that. Thusby?
Yeah, guys, like you said, there have been a couple across the Commonwealth. I want to start in Cambria County, where the machines there, they couldn't count the ballots because the barcode on them was printed incorrectly. And to solve the issue, county officials asked its publishing company, the printing company in Pittsburgh, to reprint the ballots. So county employees, they had to drive 70 miles to go get new ballots on Election Day. As you can understand, a lot of people were frustrated. So voting hours in Cambria County have been extended to 10 p.m. Their voters in line before 8 p.m. will be able to vote on the county's regular voter system. But those who get in line after 8 p.m., they'll have to vote by a provisional ballot. So the ballots that were cast this morning, they can't be read by the machine. Those are going to be hand counted. Now, some other issues that we've been seeing, there was a polling location in Luzerne County that opened late at 8:30 this morning. An hour and a half late, our sister station, WBRE, reported that delay because an election judge didn't show up on time. So the court granted extended voting hours for the Laughlin Borough precinct by 90 minutes. Those polls will close at 9:30 tonight. Over in Berks County, officials tell us there were some delays in opening some polling places there, but mostly it was resolved with a basic reset and restart. And also, a voter in York County told us there was a scanning issue at Jackson Elementary School in York County. We actually found out that was a paper jam. So a potpourri of issues happening. And I spoke to the Pennsylvania State Department, and they weren't surprised by it. They said, hey, this happens every election. We're just glad to see the counties work to resolve them quickly. Back to you.
Now to our coverage of voters on this election day. News 8 was at a polling place in Elizabethtown, Lancaster County. We have reports on voting from Lancaster and York counties, starting with Meredith Jorgensen in Lancaster County. Meredith.
Jerry, it's an enthusiastic, engaged voting contingent here in the 9th Ward on Buchanan Avenue in Lancaster City. This is a neighborhood polling spot, so many of the people just come here and walk to cast their ballots. There was a line around the block, we're told, first thing this morning, then an afternoon lull, and now a steady stream of voters, many eager just to get to Election Day. Voters telling me they came out because they care about the country, they want to see democracy prevail, they say. A lot of parents also bringing their children along. We caught up with Ashley, who had her 8-year-old daughter, Samantha, with her today.
I like that they're talking about this in school and to introduce her to the process. She knows that we regularly vote and participate in this way, and we want her to learn and see what it involves.
I think our country will be much better off with the Democratic Party in charge.
I've been really nervous and anxious leading up to this day, and I feel like there's been so much hatred and anger, and I feel like things are going to improve after today.
We also visited the pre-canvassing room inside the Lancaster County Government Center downtown this afternoon. This is where volunteers are opening and scanning the thousands of mail-in ballots Lancaster County has received. The Lancaster County Board of Elections is giving updates throughout the day and has reported no problems with the elections in Lancaster County. Here in Lancaster City, I'm Meredith Jorgensen, WGAL News 8.
I'm here at York Valley, I'm Michael Fuller, excuse me, I should say. We are here in York at Pleasant Valley Road at an elections office. We've been here since after 4:30, and I will tell you that we've seen more and more people come to cast their vote and also to hand in their mail-in ballot, which is pretty much in lockstep with what county officials believed would happen as more people would be arriving after work. I spoke with the commissioner president here in York, and she tells us that overall the day has been smooth. She says there's been lines, but nothing out of the ordinary. There's been a couple of minor issues with machines, but nothing that's caused a problem. She said she saw a lot of people come out to vote early this morning before work. We got a chance to speak with some of those voters. They tell us that they've been excited. They tell us the energy has been great, and that whether people were voting for Republican or Democratic officials and candidates, that they have really enjoyed themselves and that they have had a good time. Again, we want to let people know that the polls are still open, and what these folks here want people to know, that if they haven't cast their ballot yet, you still have time to do so, as the polls will close at 8 o'clock. Reporting live here in York County, Michael Fuller, WGAL News 8.
All right, Michael, thank you, and to Meredith as well. And now to the presidential race. Former President Donald Trump voting today in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's a live picture now. Let's go of the former president's campaign headquarters. There it is. It's the Palm Beach Convention Center.
Vice President Kamala Harris held her last rally in Philadelphia last night. She did some radio interviews today. Over the weekend, she says she cast a mail-in ballot in her home state of California. And this is a live picture from the Harris campaign headquarters. She'll be at her alma mater tonight, Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz and his family spent part of their day campaigning in the Susquehanna Valley. They stopped at the Capitol Diner there in suburban Harrisburg, where they thanked supporters and encouraged everyone to get out and vote. And Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance cast his ballot in his home state of Ohio. There he is there. He then flew to Florida. He'll be joining former President Trump at his headquarters.
Now to our coverage of one of the biggest races we're following in Pennsylvania for U.S. Senate. We're covering both candidates, starting with News 8's Barbara Barr at Republican Dave McCormick's headquarters in Pittsburgh. Barbara.
And Jerry, the eyes of the nation on this Senate race here in Pennsylvania. We are in the Fairmont Ballroom here in Pittsburgh at the hotel, and this is where Dave McCormick's election night watch party is taking place. The band's been warming up on stage. Now, McCormick running for the Senate here in Pennsylvania for the second time. 2 years ago, you might remember he lost to Dr. Mehmet Oz in the Republican primary. He is challenging three-term incumbent Senator Bob Casey, the Democrat. Polls show a close race, and it has been contentious. Now, McCormick voted last week, but he went with his wife Dina to the polls this morning where she voted. McCormick and Casey have been battling over the border, the economy, what's causing inflation, whether it's corporate greed or government spending, reproductive rights, and investment in Chinese companies. McCormick has been campaigning with Donald Trump across Pennsylvania. Casey has not been with Vice President Kamala Harris recently. I interviewed McCormick in the recent days, and he talked about bringing change to Washington.
That's where I think things are, and that's why I think the race is closing. And listen, everybody says, what about the Casey dynasty? And you know what I say about that is every dynasty comes to an end.
Well, it has been a contentious race with the ads on television and in debates. Polls show Casey with a slight lead most of the way throughout the race. But again, it is close, and everyone watching this, the balance of power in the Senate could hinge on it. As you see the band on stage, and that face there is Jeff Jimerson. It might be familiar to Pittsburgh Penguin hockey fans. He often sings the national anthem before Penguin games. So we'll have all the coverage of this race coming up tonight. For now, I'm Barbara Barr, live in Pittsburgh. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Barbara, thanks so much for that. Now to our coverage of incumbent Senator Bob Casey. McKenna Alexander in Scranton for us tonight covering that campaign. McKenna.
Yeah, Lori, after spending yesterday in Philadelphia with Vice President Harris, tonight Senator Bob Casey will be gathering with his campaign here in the Scranton Cultural Center for a watch party. Now, this race could impact the party majority in the U.S. Senate. Right now, Democrats control it 51-49. Casey, who is seeking a fourth term, says he feels confident in a victory as well as the security of this election.
A lot of effort has gone into making sure this is a safe, secure election. Local officials, county officials, law enforcement, state officials, and federal officials to make sure this is a free and fair election, safe and secure. Every single vote will be counted.
I'm going to be here with the Casey campaign all night, and we'll sure bring you the latest throughout our coverage this evening. For now, live in Scranton, McKenna Alexander, WGAL News 8.
McKenna, thank you. And across the Susquehanna Valley, voters are making sure their voices are heard. Krista Zimmerman of Willow Street, Lancaster County, sent us this picture. She's been in the hospital since last Thursday following emergency surgery, but thanks to some volunteers, she filled out an emergency ballot today and was able to vote.